What's up guys, Tony Hannity's here from Lazy Tech TV, and today we're going to take a look at a company that I never thought would ever dive into the gaming peripherals market, but hey, guess what? They have. And that is SoundBlaster by Creative. Stay tuned. Yes, the company that brought you SoundBlaster sound cards and SoundBlasterX speakers have created the SoundBlasterX Vanguard K08 and the SoundBlasterX Siege M04. Now these are very top of the line gaming peripherals. The Vanguard keyboard itself has a very angular design and a matte black finish. Every single key lights up. You've got over 109 fully programmable keys to light as any color of the rainbow. In the upper right, you have your media controls with the SoundBlasterX initialize button. And something that I found very useful for me was quick access to the volume controls via a very nice rollered metal dial. And of course, on the left hand side, you've got your macros that you can fully program using the SoundBlaster Connect application that can be found on your Windows computer. Now, with regard to the LED lights, this is the Aurora Reactive system. I've personally not heard of the system before. However, if you look up Aurora Reactive on Google, they have a whole kind of separate setup that you can buy. But this is the first time I've seen it in a gaming peripheral as opposed to Razer with their Razer Chroma setup. Now you can get into the whole debate which system is better, Razer Chroma or Aurora Reactive. And if you're in the whole ecosystem of one or the other, then you're going to have your own viewpoints. However, for me, it just looks beautiful. And the fact that even if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to customizing, you can have it preset to a rainbow, pulsing red, bleed blue, green, whatever. Whatever your heart's desires, you can have the keyboard and mouse match if you want or not. It's fully up to you. And underneath these 109 keys are customized switches made specifically for this Vanguard setup here. It's actually co-designed with Omicron and their PRESS system. PRESS stands for Perceive, React, Execute switches. And unlike your Cherry MX switches, there seems to be only one option for you. You just go with PRESS. And apparently, according to their research, you've got 25% faster response time. You also have 12.5 faster actions per minute and better travel. Normal mechanical switches would give you 2 millimeters travel. This is only 1.5. So every tiny millimeter counts in the gaming world, as you well know. But for me, it just sounds great. You, of course, have some other benefits regarding the keyboard. The USB cable is braided, so it's less likely to rip, tear, or fray. You have a USB 2.0 connection on the back of the keyboard, so you can connect anything else like a flash drive, a printer, or, as I have done, a Blue Yeti microphone. And the wrist rest, say that 12 times fast, is removable. Now that's where this starts to be kind of a downer for me. The wrist rest itself is hard plastic and it is a fingerprint magnet, but beyond that, the hard plastic isn't actually very comfortable for me whatsoever. And after doing a little bit of research, you can actually get a Razer Black Widow Chroma V2 with a cushioned wrist rest. And although I realize that the cushion will probably rip and fray over time and over use, it would feel much more comfortable, in my experience, on your wrists. And if you want to avoid carpal tunnel, that would probably be in your best interest. However, moving beyond that, the best thing about a whole sword and board setup is that if you have the matching sword and board, they're going to work wonders together. And that's where the Siege M04 comes into play. Now, I've had a fair few amount of experience with gaming mice before, and far from it from me to tell you which is the best of the best, but I really like the Rat from Rocat. And one thing I liked about that was the fact that you can actually elongate the mouse to be better suited for your hand if it was bigger. This from SoundBlaster is a fairly small mouse. It's very slender, it's narrow, and after a long time using it, it actually hurts. I found myself having to readjust my hand ever so often, whereas with the Rocat mouse, it just felt normal and comfortable every single time. Now, the mouse itself has a bunch of programmable buttons, including what they call the sniper button, which is cool. Has 3 standard settings for DPI, which you can change at your own volition, and it has a separate setting for sniper DPI. Again, that is probably best for sniping out your competition when it comes to Facebook and Tinder. I don't know, you kids do. But when it comes to FPS, it means the difference of life and death, apparently. On the top of the mouse, you have a metal scroll bar, which is very useful for everyday use. You have your standard button to switch between the DPIs. And as I mentioned before, the lighting around the bottom of the mouse can be fully programmed through the app on your computer, and you can either match your keyboard or not. Completely up to you. What I found to be quite interesting was for the fact that the included mouse pad that the team gave me, which, thank you very much, it's all signed by a couple of the engineers, I assume, is not included when you buy the mouse alone. It's an additional purchase, which, according to the official website, seems like you can only get it if you get the weapons crate. Which brings me to the conclusion and my final thought on this whole setup. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. It's a fingerprint magnet, yes, but what keyboard isn't? It does have its flaws, but it's also very expensive. And for the very easy fact that you can find some very good quality mice and keyboard for gaming, whether it be from HyperX, Lenovo, Razer, or even Logitech, it's kind of hard for me to definitively say, yes, this is the mouse and keyboard that you want for something like Overwatch or Battlegrounds. There's a lot of options out there. If you aren't tied to a particular brand like Razer and you want to try something different, or you just like SoundBlaster, I have an affinity for SoundBlaster because I've been using them as a sound card way back since the early 1990s. That's just me, though. What mouse and keyboard will you use to shoot your best friend in the head? Let me know in the comment section below. If you have any other questions, let us know in the comment section below. And make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Late.